Unfossum.
A princess, a queen, a woman of the utmost terrible circumstances, the middle child of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. She is believed to have been born in Thebes very shortly before the royal family moved to the new city of Akhetaten, now Amarna. She was given the birth name of ANKHESENAMUN, which she later changed to ANKHESENAMUN when she veered away from her father's religion. In her early life, along with her two elder sisters, she became one of the principal priestesses of the Aten, and is often shown along with her two sisters. Akhenaten made it that the public had to worship the family, and in turn, the royals and mainly the pharaoh would pass on your prayers to the god Aten. It is suggested that she was married to her own father, a practice at the time which was not unusual. She may have even given birth to an inbred child sharing the same name as herself. Yet the child died from the plague that wiped out half of the population of Amarna. When her father died, during the short period of rule under Smenkhara and Nefernuaten, ANKHESENAMUN was married to her slightly younger brother, Tutankhamun. Again, not strange practice at the time, as they believed that inbreeding would keep the family lines stronger, as well as the religious aspect where the Amarnan royals were divine in their own way. They could not marry out of the divine lineage. ANKHESENAMUN and Tutankhamun appeared to be very close. They are seemingly trained to be rulers by Nefertiti herself, if the theory is true that Nefertiti lived on past Akhenaten. They are also cared for by Nefertiti's father, Ai. After a few short years, Tutankhamun was crowned as pharaoh when he was 9 years old, and ANKHESENAMUN was made the great royal wife, also known as Queen. Only 2 years into his rule, Tutankhamun and ANKHESENAMUN abandoned their father's city and moved back to Thebes and reinstated Amun as the chief god of Egypt. To affirm that they were distanced from Aten now, they changed the epithets of their names mentioning Aten to now mention Amun, becoming Tutankhamun and ANKHESENAMUN. The close brother and sister were then stamping their mark in Thebes, being shown on statues and reliefs together in the two main temples of Thebes, Luxor Temple and Karnak. ANKHESENAMUN is often shown in loving scenes with her brother, some engraved in gold where she is seen hunting geese with Tutankhamun, others where he pours out wine for his sister queen. There is a loving scene on a wooden chest which is aptly known as their wedding scene. A young Tutankhamun and ANKHESENAMUN are seen presenting each other with the lotus in a lush garden. Yet, the most famous of all of these scenes of the couple is on the throne of Tut, where ANKHESENAMUN is leaning forward, rubbing oils from a bowl onto her brother husband. We know that the couple tried to conceive an heir at least twice, yet these children suffered the same fate as her first child. 2 mummified children from Tut and ANKHESENAMUN were found in Tut's tomb. Tutankhamun died around the age of 19 after a 9-year reign, having no children. This left ANKHESENAMUN in a predicament. Her grandfather Ai, Nefertiti's father, wanted to become the next pharaoh, yet we have evidence that ANKHESENAMUN did not want this. Here at the Pergamon Museum in Berlin, they have some really amazing examples of trade relations between Hittites and Egyptians. The ancient Egyptians had very good trade routes to the north, including people of the Hittites, Amurru, and Assyria. And they used to send letters between each other in the international communication language, which was written in cuneiform, sort of looks like little bird scratchings. And one of the most famous letters is that of Queen Nefertari, that she used to send letters to the Queen Pudahipa up in the north, and they had a very good rapport between themselves. But before Nefertari of Ramses II, Amenhotep III and Queen T used to send letters up there. Queen T was actually very instrumental in causing a good relationship between the two countries. However, as we go on, from Tel el Amarna we have letters from Nefertiti and Akhenaten to the Hittites in the north. And this is where we see things start to crumble. During the time of Tutankhamun, he had very good trade relations at that time with the Hittites to the north, so much so that even ANKHESENAMUN wrote to the Hittites when Tut died and asked for one of their sons to be sent because she did not want to marry Ai, her possible grandfather, who was an old man. And some artifacts have been found, not in Egypt, out of Egypt, showing Tut and ANKHESENAMUN. And on the other side, the Assyrian lion goddess who is connected to Sekhmet. Shortly after her husband died and before Ai became king, she wrote a letter to the Hittites stating that she did not wish to marry the courtier and that the king of the Hittites should send one of his many sons for her to marry, and he shall become the pharaoh. Unfortunately, it appears that Ai was aware of this, and once the Hittite prince arrived in Egypt, he was executed. ANKHESENAMUN married Ai, whose first wife was dead already. A small ring showing the joint names of Ai and ANKHESENAMUN remains to tell this tale. Although Ai was in his late 70s and only ruled for a short time, during this short time, the then 20-something-year-old ANKHESENAMUN disappears from all records. Her fate is not known. The tomb of Ai in Thebes is thought to be the original burial place of Tut. However, Ai swapped the tombs, claiming the larger for himself. The decorations are very similar, and a scene in the tomb could be a final image of ANKHESENAMUN. Ai was an old man, yet on the wall there is a young man with the bodily features of Tutankhamun, and next to him is his great royal wife wearing the feathers of Amun. This scene would appear to be Tut and ANKHESENAMUN, yet their faces and names have been hacked out. This scene of the couple, showing them hunting geese, a symbolic image that was repeated several times by Tutankhamun and the unfortunate ANKHESENAMUN.
Unfawesome.